Now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerome. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show, The Melting Pat. Thank you for being here. Hope you're well. Patrons, you've already heard about 12 to 15 minutes of me ranting on things. So, if you want to see what I'm doing and see this camera the camera's in a weird spot. I'm in a weird spot. I have a Jazzwave headband on, which is pretty great. So if you'd like to see all that and hear the bonus stuff, $5 a month, patreon.com/themeltingpat. Let me know what's up, all right? Let me know if you want me to make more videos or something. I don't know. Maybe if I get some more money, we can maybe get a mount for the camera and have it in a proper spot. I don't know. Anyway, on the show today, we're talking about video game characters. If you could be the main character in any video game, which one would you pick? That was our question. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about rewatch podcasts. There are a lot of them, and I love most of them, I think. Well, the ones I think of, I've enjoyed. The ones I've heard, I've enjoyed. We'll talk about a quote about sports that I heard that bugged me because, well, I think, in fact, this is a good week for sports. So we'll get to that in a second. And we just got some news today that the Sixers have planned a spot for their new stadium, their new arena. So we'll talk about the ins and outs, or let's call it first reactions to that. Not all of them have been good. Mine will be. And so we'll get to that. That'll be the last thing we do today. And then we'll be good. So hope you're well. Hope you're staying cool and dry and safe and all that. The air conditioners are working overtime, whatever. They're in overdrive. Does that work? We have the air on a lot because it's hot. Hold on. Let me turn mine on. So I just turned on my little Next fan. So if you can hear it, I'll be honest with you, I don't care because I'm hot and it'll be fine. All right? All right. So there you go. So before we get to all of that, we've got a song from our friends Royals. Find more from them at royalsofficial.com. I had their social media. I think it's Royals Official UK. It'll all be in the show notes at the website, but royalsofficial.com, you can find all that stuff there. All right, this is their latest. There's a coin I coughed in there. Patrons, you saw that weird thing I just did. But anyway, this is from our friends Royals, royalsofficial.com for more from them. This song is called Home. Yeah, let's just get to it instead of, I don't know, risking another episode here. It's Royals, it's Home, it's The Melting Pat. Back in a bit.
I'll be waiting all night by the phone just to let you know that you're not alone. 'Cause I know in a day or two I'll be laying next to you. I'm counting down the days just so you can come back home. She always said to me that she wanted to up and leave, but baby, I will miss you while you're gone. And although I'm all alone, I'll stay up waiting by the phone, counting down the days till you get home. And I know now, every time that I turn around, you're the one that I'm counting on to catch me when I fall. I'll be waiting all night by the phone just to let you know that you're not alone. 'Cause I know in a day or two I'll be
There we go. There you have it. Our friends Royals with their latest. I think it's their latest. It's called HomeRoyalsOfficial.com for more from them. Thank you, my friends. It's the Melting Pat. Welcome back to the show. Patrons got to watch me buy the song in real time. And then now we're good. So we got the riff. So there you go. Again, RoyalsOfficial.com. I think they're Royals Official UK or Royals Band UK on social media. I'm sorry, guys. I don't remember. I'm sorry. That's on me. That's completely on me. My bad. But enjoy that. Tell them I sent you. They might remember who I am. Or they won't. They're like, oh, that guy. I don't know. I'm not going to do an accent. That'd be rude. If they'd been on the show, like if I played Unquiet Nights, because I've had Luke on the show, then I could try an accent. But I've never had Royals on the show, so we're not doing an accent. That'd be rude. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Again, I start talking, and I forgot to do the riff. I felt good. I feel like I got the pitch right finally. We improvised at the end a little bit. I think we're okay. And that song, by the way, I love it because it starts off all acoustic-like. And if you don't know, if you know me, then you know this. If you have any acoustic things in your song, I automatically will love it. Unless, okay, I'm more inclined to love a song if it has acoustic guitar parts in it, because I am an acoustic guitar guy myself, and so that's why. That's it. That's all to the story. That is all to the story there. All right, we're good. We are good there. We got it right. RoyalsOfficial.com. We're good. Okay, so I want to start this week. We're like 20 minutes in. Are we? Yeah, more than that. Damn. Well, some of that was the in-between stuff that we're cutting out. But anyway, I guess the free version people won't have that much time. So anyway, first real thing on the docket today is I've seen this going around, and I spent time on the internet, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook occasionally. Facebook, the interface has gotten so much worse, and I really wish that I didn't get my most engagement for the show on Facebook, because the interface is just getting so much worse. So anyway, I spend time on the internet doing things, and I see this going around that this is apparently the worst week in sports. And I see, like the NBA's over, the NFL is weeks from starting camp, the NHL's over. So all it is mid-season baseball. And I mean, we're in a World Cup year, so we have that. But, the people who are complaining this is the worst week in sports don't watch football. They don't. They watch the NFL and that's it. Or whatever. Anyway, so I see this complaint a lot. And I'm sitting here going, speak for yourselves. Because this week for me is actually a really fun week in sports. Even though the All-Star game in baseball has, let's say, declined in quality over the last few years. Number of years, in fact. But we got the Home Run Derby, which is my favorite event of the year. I love it. And I love the timed format that they instituted a few years ago, because it just makes you got a better flow. The event has changed from hitting a bunch of home runs until you don't hit home runs anymore to how many home runs can you hit in 4 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever it is. I don't remember. I just watched it the other day, and I already forgot how long it is. So I love the matchups. They seed the home run hitter guys, and I don't know why I said it that way, but they have matchups, and they go against, like, there's real competition. You get $1 million, which I think was new this year if you win, which is great. I guess in the grand scheme, not for a baseball player, because they're going to make $1 million probably anyway at some point, especially if they're on the rise. I mean, Julio Rodriguez, there we go, who plays for the Mariners, has not hit that mark yet because he's a rookie. So I was hoping he would win. But, most of the guys who are in this competition have made millions on millions of dollars already. So maybe the million isn't really for them. I could use some money. Send it my way. That'd be great. TheMeltingPat.com. I swear, if anybody listens to this show and all of a sudden I get like $500,000, it'd be great. It'd be hilarious. Like, oh, this guy asked for money and I have it, so I'm going to give it to him. It'd be fantastic. So, anyway, the Home Run Derby is awesome. I love it. Congratulations, Juan Soto. He's probably not going to be on the Nationals much longer because he turned down, reportedly, a 14-year deal for $440 million or 15 years, whatever it was. And he was like, nope. And now he's upset the negotiations went public, which I kind of would be too. I'd rather not talk about it, but that's me. So we'll see. The Nationals are open to trading him. The Nationals are being sold. So that's a thing. Anyway, unrelated to This Week in Sports. Well, actually not. It is related because it's happening, but something to keep an eye on. I'll let you know if something happens in the next, whenever it happens. So trade deadline's August 2nd. So something will probably happen by then. Either he signs or he gets traded. So we shall see. Anyway, he won the Home Run Derby. That's how that's connected there. And so, yeah, people are like, oh, it's the worst week in sports. But we got the Derby, the All-Star Game, even though the All-Star Games are kind of weak. And then the X Games started yesterday, or Wednesday, I guess. And I haven't watched any of it yet because I'm really busy. But I have it all in the DVR. It'll be fine. But then we get the skateboarding, the BMX, and all that stuff. So somebody who will say this is the worst week in sports, speak for yourself. I love this week in sports. I get the Derby on Monday and the X Games on the week, like through the end of the week. And I love it. And then in a couple weeks, we should, well, actually, maybe this week we should have some World Cup games. Or no, when does that start? I'm not looking it up. But anyway, we got some World Cup qualifiers, I think, or World Cup group play, or whatever it is. We're in a World Cup year. And so we have that to look forward to if you're into that. So I don't know. People say, oh, this is a worst week in sports. It bothers me because it's not. I have a lot of fun things to look forward to sports-wise. And so that's where I am with that. Home Run Derby's awesome. All-Star Game is not. X Games are fun. That's the too long didn't listen version. Let's get to the rest of the thing. All right. Jesus. What a mess. Oh, my gosh. Should we do... No, we're not going to put all the sports together. That's too much. So I want to talk about rewatch podcasts. I love them. I think they're great. How do you feel? Let me know how you feel about them. If you love them, you don't listen, you don't care, let me know. If you don't know what it is, by the way, it's people rewatch a show and they talk about every episode, going through it, and have fun with it. Jill and I have done it with the Short-Lived Show. I don't know when that show is coming back. I hope we can do it at some point, but we'll see. So I listened to Gilmore Guys, which was two fans. Well, one fan of Gilmore Girls watching with his friend who had never watched the show before, and that was fun. And I listened to Go Bayside, which was about for Saved by the Bell. And they were fun, right? Like, I enjoyed those shows. But I have to tell you that I think rewatch podcasts are much more fun and much better. No offense to anybody involved in the things. Like, I do a rewatch podcast. So I'm not crapping on anybody. And also, I don't know if it's been on in a while, but Ben and Kristen do the Lost rewatch podcast. Man, did I just crap all over them? I'm so sorry. I'm not saying that a rewatch podcast by fans is a bad idea. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that I appreciate a lot the behind the scenes stuff when it's people who were involved in the show. That's what I'll say. Sorry, if anybody does a rewatch podcast, that my wording was poor there. I'm not crapping on your show. Let me know. All right, if you're rewatching a show, I want to check it out. I'll mention it next time on the show. All right, my bad. That's on me. So anyway, I much prefer them with people who are on the show because you get a lot more insight into, oh, how about like, I remember when we were shooting this, or I remember when this person was on set and this director said this, and the way we did this line was this, and here's how this process went to get this scene done. And I really appreciate all of that stuff. And that's not for everyone, I understand it, but it is for me, and it's my show. So there you go. So the ones I'm on now is I Am All In. Scott Patterson doing Gilmore Girls. He's watching them for the first time, which I think, like, he watched the pilot and he watched one of the Netflix movies, but he's never seen any other ones. And for me, that's hilarious because now you're watching it like someone, like, say if someone is new to the show and saying like, oh, I want to check out this podcast. Oh, let's watch this show for the first time. So you and him and the host of the show can see it kind of through the same eyes in terms of, I've never seen this as a fan. Like, I shot all this stuff and I remember, but we shot it in this way and did all this. And then now I'm watching it with you for the first time, which is really fun, I think. There was something else I was going to say about his show, but I forget. I'm a little behind on that one. And Welcome to the OC. I'm behind on that too, which is Rachel Bilson, Melinda Clark, who I think they've said they watched them when they first came out, a few of them. But for the most part, they're like, oh, yeah, I remember this. And it's a lot like that where it's like, yeah, I remember working with this person, and they have people from the show come on and talk about it. And and do all that stuff. And they're just really fun. The first big one, I think, was Office Ladies with Angela Kinsey and Jenna Fisher, Angela and Pam, if you don't know. And that one was really fun. I'm behind on that as well. I'm behind on all my podcasts, let's be real. Except for like 2. I'm caught up on 2 of them and not the other 38 or whatever. So that was kind of the first big one. And then other actors decided, hey, we can do this. Like, people are going to listen and download these and give us feedback and talk to us about this. So I think that's really cool. And the one that came out most recently, I think, the one I'm listening to anyway, is the Boy Meets World rewatch, which with Ryder Strong, Will Friedle, Danielle Fishel. They have guests, and they're going through it, and it's really interesting. Just again, the whole thing is like, hey, I remember this actor who played an extra, or who played, like a little bit part in the show, and now they went on to do other things, and like trying to figure out where the show was, where it's so early in the show, and like, what are we supposed to be doing? What is the show going to be? And it's really interesting to go through the whole process with them while I'm also rewatching the show that I loved to watch as a kid. So I love it. I love the whole behind the scenes feel. I love getting the co-stars back on, the directors, all this stuff. I'm a big fan. And again, nothing against anyone who does a rewatch podcast. I do one with my wife, but I think like having the extra insight of someone who was on the show and can share these little tidbits is a lot more fun. And there's a reason they get millions of downloads, I guess, right? So there are a couple that I haven't had a chance to dive into yet. The Scrubs one, what is it? Fake Doctors, Real Friends. That seems really interesting. I know a couple people who have been listening to that one. And the Always Sunny podcast. I'm really looking forward to that one as well. So I'm trying. I can't really add another show right now, but we'll see. But ones that I just love the whole idea. I love the whole, like, these actors getting together again for the first time, maybe, since that show, however many years ago, and going through it with us and taking us along for the ride there. I think it's really fun. And if you're asking me which shows I would listen to rewatch podcasts of, well, I'm glad you did, because I'd watch, or I'd listen to 24, it's my favorite show. That 70s Show, fantastic sitcom. If you don't like you don't know what That 70s Show is. Friends, I would do. And Wings. Those are ones that I would do, because those are shows that I loved growing up. And News Radio I would do as well. That'd be fantastic. I know you'd be missing some people from some of these shows, unfortunately, but I think, like, I'm just going by shows that I loved to watch and still love to turn on. How I Met Your Mother would be another one. Shows I love to just turn on and keep watching because they're so good. So there you go. That's what I would do. Rewatch podcasts. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you not care to listen? Do you hate the ones I mentioned? Is there one that you would listen to? I guess if actors got together from a show that you loved, would you listen, or did I miss one? Did I miss any? I'm sure I did. So let me know if I missed any rewatch podcasts. All right. So there you go. I miss a lot of things because, that's just what happens. All right. All right. So we had a question for you this week. If you could be the main character in any video game, which one would you pick? I thank all of you for your responses. I can't promise you that I know what all of these games are, but we're going to try to have some fun anyway. Our buddy Paul Williams, What Lurks Behind Podcast Zero, host, all-around great dude. Camus, it is Camus, like the author, right? Camus, C-A-M-U-S, right? Camus, like Albert Camus, the author. His name's Albert, right? I'm going to feel dumb if that's wrong. But the AI, the dog AI in Cloudpunk. I don't know what Cloudpunk is, but you chose a dog, and that's good enough for me. Thank you, Paul. Fignuts with the early winner. Fantastic. Leisure Suit Larry. And if you don't know what Leisure Suit Larry is, the games, okay, Mom, don't look it up. I remember playing one of them years ago. Somebody had it and was like, I don't want this anymore. You can have it. It was on PS2. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out. And, play it on a night when I'm getting home from work and I don't work the next day, so I'm still wired. So I got to do something. And yeah, it is quite an adventure, Leisure Suit Larry. Thank you for the early winner right there. TJ says Geralt of Rivia. Rivia. I know it's from The Witcher. You know what? Do we have a clip? Can we put that in here? Because in one of the games, someone calls him Gerald, and he says this.
Not Gerald. Geralt.
Oh.
Because I'm sure I screwed that up, but it's fine. I never played The Witcher. I watched an episode and a half of the show on Netflix, and it wasn't for me. I didn't love it. Jill watched it. She enjoyed it. But that's a good one. Seth said that as well. Geralt of Riviera. There we go. That's not right. I'm sorry, fans of The Witcher. My bad on that one. Our buddy Crystal says he would pick the character in Power Stone 2, mainly so I could have some ridiculously overpowered, incredibly over-the-top super moves, and use all the silly weapons in that game. Never played it, never heard of it, but you got silly weapons and you're overpowered to a ridiculous degree. I love it. Thank you very much, good sir. Jen says Jen Tate from Primal. Now, I know this game. It was on PS2 because Jen gave it to us years ago. And she said, this story is really great. You're going to love it. And I did. I remember really enjoying the hell out of this game. And I haven't played it in a while because I haven't played anything in a while. Because, that's what happens when you are a dad. Yeah, so I want to dive back into that because that's a really good game. I enjoy it. Helmsphere says, Goku, I could eat all day, punch things, neglect my wife and children, and still be hailed as a hero. That's a good one. Damn, that's good. That is good. Big Vic asked an important question, which I probably should have qualified. Do I have to live in their world or am I in the real world? And the answer is you live in their world. So he said, I guess, where I just lost his answer. There it is. I guess one of the guys from Beat 'em and Eat 'em in that case, if I have to live in the world. So there you go. Drave says, Doom Guy, kind of like real life, but the names of evil are changed. Oh, no. Oh, Dravid. Oh, what are you doing? Thank you, though. Oh, that's a good one. Supreme Elijah One says, Michael Vick in Madden 2004. Now that, did not see that coming. Going to be honest with you. Did not. That's a curveball for me. But I love it. If you don't know, Michael Vick in Madden was ridiculously fast. And when we played that game, like when my friends and I played that, we're like, nope, nobody can use the Falcons because Michael Vick can just outrun everybody and it's not fair. But if your friends were not like that and you got to pick the Falcons first, then you had a good time. And I would think, yeah, being the best, being like the fastest guy on the field in a football game is incredibly good for you. That works out. So there you go. Thank you. Shizen says the Duck Hunt dog. I love it. That's great. You go pick up the ducks, and when the guy misses, you get to laugh at him, and he can't shoot you. So that's fantastic. Thank you for that. I love that. Clockshot took his time with this one, but he settled on Agent 47. If you don't know, he's the guy in Hitman. And yeah, I guess if you want to be a Hitman, that would be the one to go with. Hitman's really good. The games are really good, by the way. If you've never played them, I recommend try the first one out. And if you don't like it, well, my bad. But check it out. I enjoy it, and I don't really like games like that in general, but I've had fun with that. Let's see. MAG also took his time. He wrote out a whole bunch of like pros and cons of who he would pick and why he wouldn't go. And sorry, MAG, I am not reading all that, but I appreciate your effort. But he said, I'm going to have to go with Kane from the Legacy of Kane series. By God, it's Kane! Sorry. Raziel's a better character. Raziel, I don't know who these people are. I've never played this game. But he's got way too many cons working against him where I'd want to be him. So he's going with Kane from the Legacy of Kane. Thank you for figuring that out for us. Much appreciated. Meg says, the villager in Animal Crossing. Just hang out with animal friends and occasionally get invited to beat the out of friends, Smash Brothers. No real bills, and you get to live on an island pretty much free, depending on the work you put in. People demonize Tom Nook, but he gives you a loan that's interest-free, and with a 0 time frame, you have to repay it in. That's great. I've never played Animal Crossing. I've seen people stream it, and it seems like a lot, but that's a really good pick. Thank you, Meg. Yes, the village, live like kind of a carefree life with a bunch of animal friends, and just kind of hang out and occasionally get to go fight some people, and then you're good. That's great. I love it. Thank you. And finally, from you guys, anyway, I have one. But the last one from you is from Lockjaw, and he says, a Tetris block, because I just want to fit in somewhere. I love that, man. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for weighing in. I appreciate all your feedback on that. As for me, pardon me, I'm going with the Goose from the Untitled Goose Game, because you just get to run around and honk at people and mess with their stuff. And the only real penalty you have is they chase you away, and you get to go back and do it again. So give me the Goose from the Untitled Goose Game. I just want to mess with everybody and, push their stuff around and run around with weird stuff in my mouth. That sounds like fun. And I think that would rule, living in that world, just stealing everyone's stuff and running around going, "Huh," and just honk, because that's great. That's what geese do. Well, I don't know. Could I bite people? I forget. I haven't played the game in a while. But you know what? I'll try. I'll try to bite people as the Untitled Goose. I don't know. Anyway, that's all. That's all for the question. Thank you for for all your feedback. I appreciate it. And we're almost done. We got one more thing before we go, because I saw that was going to be the end of the show. But then I saw this morning that the Sixers have announced their plans to build a new arena in Center City. So currently, if you don't know, the Sixers play in South Philadelphia in the sports complex, and they share their arena with the Flyers and whoever else plays there, the Wells Fargo Center in South Philly. So now they are in the planning stages, I suppose, of building a new arena called 76 Place in the Fashion District, or if you're old enough, the Gallery, basically 10th, 11th, and Market Street downtown. So heart of the city, pretty close to City Hall, a really congested area already. So I can't imagine this is going to be good for that on that front. But in terms of other things, I do like it. People have been saying it's a bad idea. I kind of like it mainly because it's way easier to get there on public transit than it is to get to South Philly. Like, you get off, you can take the elevated rail, and get off at 8th Street or 11th Street, and then just walk, instead of having to go to City Hall, wind your way through the underground labyrinth. It's not that difficult, but it smells like pee and people are gross. And then get on the subway and take another ride down there. So it's like fewer steps and fewer modes of transport to get, at least from where I'm coming from, to get to the Gallery, the Fashion District, than it is to get to the complex. So that's a positive for me. I like the idea that it'll be privately funded. We'll see if that turns out to be true when we get to the end of it. We don't know. Reportedly, construction will start in 2028, plans to open in 2031. So we'll see. I remember years ago, the team had a bit of a spat with Wells Fargo, obviously the name sponsor of the building. And they couldn't really, they wanted to take the logo off, because it used to be like a big Wells Fargo logo at center court, half court, whatever you want to call it, in the middle of the thing. You know what I mean? I'm tired. So it was like a big logo. And then they decided, well, we're going to be petty. And so they made the logo as small as possible, like off to the side on the court, which is hilarious. I love it. So yeah, it's easier to get there on public transit. The traffic will be a nightmare. I understand that. I get that part of it. It's already a nightmare down there to drive and to park and all that stuff. And we'll see if this goes through, we'll see what kind of parking they come up with. I can't imagine it's going to be the greatest, but I feel like that's not a valid complaint for having an arena there. It's really not. Like, no, I can't drive down there. Get on the goddamn train. Take the train. Like, you're going to spend a whole bunch of money parking, and then you're going to worry about your car probably. So take that stress out. Take the money out. Buy a little key card for the thing. Get on it and go. It's much easier to do it that way. I promise you. It's easier to do that than you could get off at 11th Street and walk. It'd be like a block and a half, if that. Of course, there are good things and bad things about this, but it's going to be really crowded, more so than it already is, because, again, it's downtown. It's crowded anyway. It's a mess. But I'd like to think that they're going to add some more trains. I don't know. Like, you have to wonder, if you're building an arena, and so you're going to expect a hell of a lot more foot traffic and train traffic and all that, I'd have to imagine you got to be talking to SEPTA and going, hey, we need some more lines to run. Like, we need more frequent lines, especially on game days. Like, this is what we need to do. How do we make this happen? Like, is it money? Do we need to bring people in? Whatever. But we need to get some more lines here, because for this to work, we all kind of got to pull in and figure out what's going on. And so I hope they're having those conversations, and I hope that there's some kind of practical solution. But overall, I actually don't think this is a bad idea. It's not. I like the idea in principle, because it's much easier to get to. Like, that's a huge thing for me, because going down to a game is a pain in the ass for me. And for a lot of people who don't drive or don't want to drive to the game, because you can't take regional rail to South Philly. It's just that there are no stops. So you have to go to City Hall and you have to get on the subway and go through all that. And not that it's difficult, but like if I can go from having to take a bus to the L and then walk and then go get on the subway and wait for that, if I can eliminate the subway part and just walk another block after I get off the L, I'll take that every time. But I'm just wondering though, like the complaint is like, oh, parking, all this and that, but take the train. That's not a valid complaint is not, oh, I don't have a place to park when you can take the train. You're literally at a train station right there. So yeah, take the train. The real complaint though is this could really mess up Chinatown down there. So I don't like that idea. I don't like that part of it, if that's even the case. But I think, I don't know, I'd have to see like the real plans, I guess, before I can make a true judgment. But just based on what I can see now, I mean, everybody's kind of dependent on cars. I get it, but you got a train station right there where the arena is going to be. I'm in, and everyone's like, "Oh, why can't you add it there? Like, you could develop this other area instead," which is fair. Like, you can do that, but that's not what the plan is, and so we kind of have to roll with what's on the books, and this so far is the one. So, I like the idea in theory. I like the idea of being able to go down to see the Sixers without having to get on the subway and take a longer trip, and I think this would make me go to more Sixers games. That's my takeaway here. Like, I mean, that's very selfish of me. I understand that. But I'm just wondering, like, because I don't have a car. So I guess the whole no parking thing doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me at all. And so I don't see that as a huge deal. So for me, transit-wise, it's a great move. You know, logistics-wise in other ways, maybe not. But, you know, everybody can get downtown. And so I like it in that regard. And let me rephrase. Anybody can get downtown in a number of ways, right? You're not limited in how you can get to the stadium because the train doesn't go there. Like if you take the train from wherever you are, right? So now, okay, let me put it this way. Now if the arena is at 11th and Market, that's where the regional rail is. So say if my mom wants to go see the Sixers and doesn't want to drive, she can go not that my mom wants to go see the Sixers, but just as an example, because my mom lives in a place with a train station. So she could now get on a train, go down to 11th Street, get out and walk to the stadium. Whereas before she'd have to go to City Hall on the train, which would cost more money because it's an extra stop, and then go get on the subway and then do all that coming back. Where instead you can just go get on the train, get off, walk to the arena, and then go back and hop on the train to go home. And without having to really worry about other, like, missing connections and doing all that stuff. So now it's one thing or two, like, I would think it's easier to get there. Again, thinking in terms of how I get around down there, this is already better. So I'm not saying this is perfect, because it's not, and there are going to be some issues that are going to come up. But so far, I'm in. I like the idea. You know, let's move the Phillies closer to me as well. Can we do that? Is that okay? All right. So there you go. Sixers, new arena. We'll see what happens. Any updates, I'll let you know. Thank you for weighing in on the video game characters. I appreciate it. If I missed you, my bad. That's what happens sometimes. If you want to see or listen to, let me know, a show that you watched. If you'd like to see the actors get together and do a rewatch podcast, let me know what shows you would like to hear that about. And let me know how do we fix the All-Star game? How about that? Go enjoy the X Games. Go enjoy whatever you got going on. Again, stay cool, stay safe, enjoy yourself. And thank you to Royals for the tune. Their song Home is available now, royalsofficial.com for more from them. That is all. Sign up for the Patreon, $5 a month. You can see me. You get a bonus. And other stuff if you want me to do other stuff. All right, there you go. But that's all. My thanks to all of you. TheMeltingPat.com is where you find more from me. There's a network tab on there. Find out what's going on with all of our shows everywhere. Let me know. There's all kinds of ways to contact me. 209-867-7638 with your texts, your voicemails, or you can leave me a message via SpeakPipe, which is right on the website. Yell at me if you want. All right, tell me I'm an idiot and do all that stuff. All right, great. Thank you. G-Love and Special Sauce with Cold Beverage. They're going to play us out as they always do. Philadelphonic.com for more from them. And that is all. This has been an 8 Boiling production. Until next time, my friends, have fun, Be safe, thank a veteran, wear your mask, wash your hands, get vaccinated and boosted when you can, and of course, don't do anything I wouldn't do. You've been inside the Melting Pat. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you next time. You know the drill. Just go have fun, all right? Go crap open a cold one. Hey, by the way, before we go, fun fact. Did you know babies can sleep in the microwave? Because they can. They fit right in there. It's perfect. It's perfect. If you made it this far, leave a review and say, wow, I didn't know that about babies. And then that's how I'll know that someone listens to the end of the show. Thanks for coming. I love you. Talk to you next week.